Remember when you were in Sunday school and you heard that story about how a woman asked Jesus for help and he was like, no, and then basically called her a dog? Yeah, I don't remember that either. We don't really like talking about this story, and I don't love talking about this story. It's a little bit uncomfortable. It's maybe the least likable we see Jesus in all the Gospels. And probably for that reason, it's one of the passages that gets brought up the most often when someone wants to refute Christianity. However, I think anyone who's taking the Bible at all seriously, anyone who's looking at the Gospels and just trying to let the data inform them, is going to go, well, this seems like really out of character for Jesus. Seems kind of odd. And whenever we run into something that's odd in the Bible, instead of ignoring that, we should let it hit us as odd. We should allow it to affect us as strange or peculiar or whatever that might be pointing us in a certain direction. Oftentimes the direction is pause, sit, wait, chew on it, think about it, digest it, read it again, look at what's going on around it, etc. So, before we encounter Jesus, who is about to have this interaction with the Canaanite woman, a bunch of Pharisees followed Jesus and the disciples way up into Galilee. They come from Jerusalem. They're not likely going there for any other reason than to kind of assess, observe, and maybe even pick on Jesus a little bit. And the thing they find to pick on him about is that the disciples are not washing their hands before they eat. And while that is a good health practice, they're trying to suggest that it is a spiritual practice as well, one that the disciples are ignoring to their own peril, a spiritual peril, like they're making themselves unclean. And so they give Jesus a hard time about this. Some of these, not all by the way, but some Pharisees, some legal experts give him a hard time. And Jesus calls them hypocrites and says, Isaiah knew what he was talking about when he prophesied about you. This people honors me with their lips, but their hearts are far away from me. Their worship of me is empty, since they teach instructions that are human rules. Jesus goes on to call a crowd nearby and says, listen and understand, it's not what goes into the mouth that contaminates a person in God's sight. It's what comes out of the mouth that contaminates a person. His point there is there are these, ritualistic things that supposedly make a person clean. But the greater emphasis, the thing that is more significant, what really demonstrates who is clean or contaminated in the sight of God, is how we treat people. So this is the moment before, this is the scene that takes place before the controversial scene. A Canaanite woman from those territories. So this is a woman who is outside of the Judean line of Judah, people who, if you were Jewish, you were like, we're the insiders, we're God's chosen people. We haven't fallen out of favor with God. This woman was not considered a religious insider. The simplest thing is to just say that. And she shouted out, "Show me mercy, Son of David. Show me mercy, Son of David." She's acknowledging that there's a cultural distinction here. She's, by saying Son of David, she's admitting, and maybe with some humility, we're not of the same line. I don't have any like birthright reason or claim to whatever it is that you're doing. I get that I'm an outsider, probably in your eyes, but show me mercy. Then she says, my daughter is suffering terribly from demon possession. Now, a lot of things in the ancient world were chalked up to demon possession, like her daughter could have been epileptic or who knows what. But, and maybe she was possessed by demons. We don't know, but I think the anchor point here of her plea is, my daughter is suffering terribly. Jesus didn't respond to her at all. First sign that something is odd there. His disciples came and urged him not to help the woman. They urged him to send her away because she keeps shouting after us. They're annoyed by her, and they are not expecting Jesus to answer her pleas for help in the affirmative. Why? She's unclean. You see what's happening here? The disciples have just been accused of being unclean. And then someone comes along who needs Jesus' help. And their perception of that woman is that she's unclean and doesn't deserve his help. Just send her away. Jesus keeps going in this direction and says, I've been sent only to the lost sheep, the people of Israel. But she knelt before him and said, Lord, help me. He replied, it's brutal. He replied, it is not good to take the children's bread and toss it to dogs. I can't say for sure. But what I really suspect is happening is he is naming what everybody around in that area, in that group, the group of disciples, for example, he is naming what they're thinking. He's calling it out. He's putting it on the table. And he's setting up the pins for her to knock down. When she says, yes, Lord, but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall off their master's table. She out-logics his logic. In the little debate, this little banter that they have, she bests him. And we might argue that he lets her best him. I think what I'm arguing is Jesus sets her up to win that little debate and says, woman, you have great faith. It will be just as you wish. And right then, her daughter was healed. And this woman, despite really taking some junk from Jesus, she remains respectful and humble and so smart. All of this amid the distress of her daughter experiencing terrible suffering. The Canaanite woman is the hero of this passage. May we be like her in pursuit of what is best for our children, for the children of this world. Let us wrestle with God and never take no for an answer when it comes to seeking relief for the suffering of the children of this world.